Why people are not joined till now? We'll wait 1 or 2 minutes and we'll start the session. Okay, last class. So what we did last class, we have derived some important parameters of a rectangular waveguide operating in TM mode. So initially we derived the expressions for TM mode, all the field component expressions we derived. So for TM mode means we know that is Hz is equal to 0, Ez only exists. We derived Ez. Once we got Ez, we derived the other field components like Ex, Ey, Hx, Hy. These are the field components we derived. After that, I told you there are some important parameters there. So what are the important parameters we have studied? One is cutoff frequency. What is cutoff frequency? It is the minimum frequency where the waves start propagating in the waveguide. In another way, we can tell the frequency at which gamma becomes 0 is known as cutoff frequency. And we derived the expression for cutoff frequency. This is the expression of gamma. So gamma is equal to, so already we have derived what is h square. What is h square in terms of gamma? H square in terms of A and B we derived. So we equated both the expressions and finally we got the gamma. This is the expression of gamma. So all of you able to see whatever I have shared?
Yes, ma'am, we are able to see, ma'am.
Yes. So what is the expression we have derived? This is gamma. This is the expression of gamma. So after that, we have seen some cases. What happens if the imaginary part is more than the real part? Actually, this is the basic expression. Gamma is nothing but alpha plus j beta. What is alpha? Attenuation constant. Here we wrote. What is beta? Phase constant. What is gamma? Propagation constant. So what is alpha can be written as, so gamma can be written as alpha plus j beta. This is the expression. So we got gamma expression in terms of dimensions of the waveguide, in terms of half-wave variations of the waveguide. This is the expression we got. And from that expression, we have seen what happens, different cases, 3 cases we have seen. One is if omega square mu epsilon is less than this term, what happens? So this term is more positive, gamma is positive. Positive means actually gamma is nothing but alpha plus j beta. So positive means you are going to get alpha. The signal gets attenuated. When omega square mu epsilon is less than pi m pi by a whole square plus n pi by v whole square, the signal gets attenuated. The wave cannot be propagated. That's what the case we have seen. And case 2 we have seen. What is case 2? Omega square mu epsilon is greater than. That means this term is greater than. Negative term is more means you are going to get what? J beta. Now the waves start propagating. That is what we have seen last class. And after that, what we have seen is, this is third case we have seen, that is gamma just is equal to 0. What is the expression of FC, cutoff frequency we have derived? So the cutoff frequency expression is equal to, this is the expression C by 2 m pi by a whole square plus n by b. Pi also, if you take out, you are going to get, this is the expression of cutoff frequency expression we got. Okay, we derived cutoff frequency expression. I told this is the most important expression. So you'll get problems. They'll give m and n value. For TM10 mode, calculate the cutoff frequency. So then you have to substitute m is equal to 1, n is equal to 0. They'll give waveguide dimensions. Just simply substitute in this formula to calculate what is the cutoff frequency. Below the cutoff frequency, the waveguide cannot propagate the signal. So always your input frequency should be greater than the cutoff frequency so that the wave can propagate in the waveguide. That's what our discussion point yesterday. Okay, so for it's very good. And after that, we defined what is the dominant mode. What is dominant mode? It is the mode which is having the lowest cutoff frequency is called dominant mode. Okay, next we define cutoff wavelength. Wavelength lambda is equal to, we have the relation C is equal to F lambda. From that, lambda is equal to C by F. Already we got FC. FC is nothing but cutoff frequency. This is the expression of FC. Just we simply substituted in this expression and we got, this is the expression of cutoff wavelength. And there I have given when lambda is greater than cutoff wavelength, because the frequency and lambda both are reciprocal. So you should, when F is less than FC, signal gets attenuated. When lambda is greater than lambda C, signal gets attenuated. That's what we discussed. And we discussed a very, very important one, phase velocity. What is phase velocity? It is defined at the rate at which wave changes its phase in terms of gated wavelength is called phase velocity. And finally, the expression of phase velocity, we got C by square root of 1 minus Fc by F. What is group velocity? The group of waves, what the rate of change in which the group of waves are traveling is nothing but group velocity. And we got the expression of group velocity is C into square root of Fc 1 minus Fc by F whole square. Here a whole square I missed, there is a whole square. What is the relation between group velocity and phase velocity? Group velocity in phase velocity is equal to C square. Up to this yesterday we discussed. Any doubts in this?
Ma'am, clear, ma'am, till yesterday's class.
Okay. Till yesterday's class, is it clear? I've sent the material. Have you gone through that material?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, whatever here I am teaching, everything is there. Please go through it. Okay, if you have any doubts, you can ask me at any time. Okay, no problem. Okay, fine. 1 minute. So, have you gone through the videos? YouTube links?
Ma'am, only rectangular waveguide we
Are
have
you
gone through.
getting, first thing, are you getting any problem in viewing that one?
No, ma'am.
Are you able to see that one? Okay. Only one voice. What about remaining students? What about remaining students? Yesterday in your group, I posted 2 YouTube links. Please go through that. Okay. Similarly, I'll post all my lectures in the YouTube. Please subscribe that channel, and anybody miss the class, you can go through that. Okay. Okay. Today we'll see guide wavelength. What is guide wavelength? So there is a waveguide. Let us consider there is a waveguide like this. There's a waveguide. What is guided wavelength means? The wave is propagating in the z direction. So this is lambda g. It is defined as the distance traveled by the wave to undergo a phase shift. A phase shift means to complete one cycle, later one more cycle starts. The distance traveled by the wave to undergo a phase shift, that distance is called lambda g. The distance traveled, it is defined as the distance. It is defined as the distance traveled by the wave. Distance traveled by the wave to undergo a phase shift. To undergo a phase shift is called guide wavelength. So guide wavelength lambda g can be written as lambda naught by square root of 1 minus lambda naught by lambda c whole square. Lambda naught by lambda c whole square. So this is what guide wavelength. And another one is wave impedance. Second parameter is wave impedance. What is wave impedance? Wave impedance is nothing but it is the ratio of strength of the electric field vector in one direction to the strength of the magnetic field vector in transverse direction. That means you are already studied that. So the electric field is in x direction, magnetic field is in y direction. These two are transverse in nature. Transverse means 90 degrees in nature. So what is wave impedance? It is the ratio of strength of electric field vector in one direction, that means in Ex direction, to the strength of magnetic field vector in the transverse direction. Transverse direction means I can write ZTM can be written as Ex by EHY. ZTM can be written as Ex by Hy. ZTM can be written as Ex by Hy. So are you getting what is wave impedance? It is the ratio of electric strength of the electric field vector in one direction, in transverse direction, to the strength of magnetic field vector transverse to the electric field direction. What is transverse to the electric field direction? That is magnetic field. That's why we should write Hy. And either you remember those expressions or not, we have derived already the expression of Ex. What is Ex? Ex is equal to initially. So what is Ex is equal to minus j omega mu by h square dou hz by dou y minus gamma by h square dou Ez by dou x. Okay, this is Ex. See, just to go back and see the material, we have Ex expression is this one. Similarly, what is Hy expression? Hy is equal to gamma by h square dou hz by dou y minus j omega epsilon by h square dou Ez by dou x. Okay, you are deriving this one for TM mode. What is TM mode? What is TM mode? Hz becomes 0, but Ez doesn't become 0. So in these two expressions, let us name it as expression number 1, this as 2. In both the expressions, what you have to do? In both the expressions, you have to do Hz is equal to 0. If you keep Hz is equal to 0, and after simplification, Hz is equal to 0 means this first term get cancelled, this first term in this expression also get cancelled. So after doing the simplification, what you are going to get? Dou Ex by dou Ez by dou x also get cancelled. Dou Ez by dou x also get cancelled. So I can write after simplification ZTM is equal to gamma by j omega epsilon. What is gamma? Gamma is equal to alpha plus j beta. Alpha is attenuation constant. We are not interested in attenuation constant. We are interested only in phase constant. So we can write it as gamma. Instead of gamma, we can write j beta by j omega epsilon. This one get cancelled. What is ZTM can be written as beta by omega epsilon. Is it clear up to this? Okay. So this can be further simplified as yesterday we derived what is the expression of beta. What is the expression of beta? Yesterday we derived the expression of beta, which is nothing but square root of omega square mu epsilon minus omega c square mu epsilon by omega. This is beta. We have in the denominator mu epsilon is there. So after simplification of this expression, you are going to get mu by epsilon into square root of 1 minus fc by f whole square. What is mu by epsilon? Already in your EMTL course you have studied. It's nothing but eta, wave impedance. So what is the expression now? Tell me. ZTM can be written as eta into square root of 1 minus fc by f whole square. So this is the most important expression. So we have derived 6 parameters. One is cutoff frequency. Another one is cutoff wavelength, phase velocity, group velocity, guided wavelength, and wave impedance. These 6 parameters we derived for rectangular waveguide operating in TM mode. So these 6 parameters are very, very important. Most of the times they'll ask these questions. First question is, they'll ask, derive the field component expression of a rectangular waveguide for TM mode. Next, define cutoff frequency, guide wavelength, cutoff wavelength, phase velocity, group velocity, wave impedance. These are the 6 parameters, very important parameters for a rectangular waveguide operating in TM mode. Are you getting? Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
This wave impedance concept understood, amma andarki? This is most important. Okay, these 6 parameters are very important. Are you able to follow these 6 parameters, whatever we discussed last class and this class? Shall I proceed to the next one? No response.
Ma'am, clear, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. You can proceed, ma'am.
Clear till
Okay.
here, ma'am. You can proceed, ma'am.
Okay. So with this rectangular waveguide TM mode analysis is over. We will do rectangular waveguide TE analysis. So just I'll give the guidelines how to follow it, how to apply the boundary conditions, because we have done the entire derivation for TM mode. So now just I'll give the instructions. I'll show you how to apply the boundary condition. You just follow those instructions. Try to do that derivation. So I'll just go back and we'll see the PDF. Everything is mentioned in this PDF. Just I've shared this PDF already to you. Go through it. Already all these parameters we derived. And I'm clearly telling for parameters, whatever the derivations I did in the class, you please follow that one. Okay. Please follow that. So till now we completed. Now see, analysis of TE mode propagation in a rectangular waveguide. Are you able to see the PDF which I've shared now?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So if you have that derivation, whatever you have did for TM mode, just go back and see the step-by-step, same steps we are going to follow here also. Nothing new in this, but same steps we are going to follow here. What is the Helmholtz equation we have taken for TM mode? We have two Helmholtz equations. What are the two Helmholtz equation? Del square Ez is equal to, what is the first Helmholtz equation? Del square Ez is equal to, this is the expression we have taken actually. See the derivation what you did already. If you are doing in your notebook, see the derivation. We have started our derivation with this expression, omega square mu epsilon into Ez. Yes or no? This is the expression we have taken, the Helmholtz expression. This is the reference expression. This is the wave expression we have taken. And we have derived so many things from that expression. Yes or no? So this is the expression we have taken since what is TM mode? TM mode Hz is equal to 0. Ez only exists. That's why we have taken the Helmholtz expression related to Ez. But when you come to TE, what is TE? Transverse electric. Transverse electric means in the direction of wave propagation, there is no electric field component transverse to that. What is the wave? The wave is propagating in the Z direction. That means in the direction of propagation, there is no electric field component. That's why it is called TE mode. So what is TE mode? Ez is equal to 0, but Hz exists. So what is the Helmholtz equation I should take? I should take the second Helmholtz equation. What is the second Helmholtz equation number? Del square Hz is equal to, as usual expression. What is the expression? Del square Hz is equal to minus omega square. What is the expression? Remaining expression is as it is. Whatever the term is there, this is the expression. Minus omega square mu epsilon hz. What is del square? Laplacian operator. If you expand it, what you are going to get? Dou square dou x square hz, dou square dou y square hz, dou square dou z square hz is equal to minus omega square mu epsilon hz. We know that since the wave is propagating in the z direction, dou by dou z is equal to minus gamma. We know that dou by dou z is equal to minus gamma. Since the wave is propagating in z direction, dou by dou z is equal to minus gamma. So dou square by dou z obviously becomes gamma square. If I substitute in this expression instead of dou square by dou z square gamma square, so you are going to get like this. This is the expression you are going to get. If you take this term towards the left hand side, what is the expression becomes? Gamma square plus omega square mu epsilon hz. If you take hz common, you are going to get h square. So this is the 1.49 expression you can write. It is also a second order differential equation. So we need to find out the solutions for the second order differential equation. How to find out? What is the method we followed in TM mode analysis? What is the method we followed to find out the solution of the second order differential equation? We followed the variable separable method. Yes or no? Here also we are following the same thing. There we write Ez is equal to xy. Now we are writing hz is equal to xy. Are you able to follow the steps? Whatever we have did for TM mode, same thing we did. Nothing. Wherever Ez is there, just you are replacing Ez with hz. All the steps are similar. Okay. So now, variable separable method. If you are using, so what happens? X is the function of X only, Y is the function of Y only. So instead of HZ, you are replacing X into Y. So X is the function of X only, so Y is taken out. And Y is the function of Y only. Here also there is a mistake. You should write Y square, not X square. So this is Y square. So Y is the function of Y only into H square XY is equal to 0. So now, wait a minute. Something. I'll open that PDF once again by mistake, and it was, so we are there at 1.49. Okay. So this is what the expression we got. Are you able to see the PDF?
No, ma'am. Screen is not
No,
sharing.
ma'am.
Yeah. Now I'll share it.
Now we
Wait
can
a
see,
minute.
ma'am.
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am.
So now this is the expression, same thing. X is the function of X only, Y is the function of Y only. We can write 1 by X, dou square X by dou X square is equal to B square. So 1 by Y dou square Y by dou Y square is equal to A square. So the expression becomes A square plus B square is equal to H square. So what is the equation we can write here? So what is the function, what is the, actually it is also a second order differential equation. So the solutions for that second order differential equations, we can write like that. X is equal to C1 into cos bx, y is equal to C3 into cos ay plus C4 into sin ay, hz is equal to xy. So hz is equal to, we have the expressions of x and we have the expressions of y, we can write like this. So now, here, one important point. Till now, everything is same. Yes or no? All the steps are same till now. Any difficulty? Till now, all
ma'am.
the
Clear,
steps
ma'am.
are same or not? Yes or no?
Clear, ma'am.
Whatever the steps we followed for TM mode, same steps we are following for T. But where is the difference comes? So, where is the difference is? Actually, when we are doing the analysis of TM mode, what we have taken the tangential component. This is a rectangular waveguide. The tangential component of the electric field vector is equal to what? Actually, it is a tangential component. It is a tangential component. The tangential component of electric field vector is equal to 0. That's why everywhere we consider boundary Ez is equal to 0 and we applied the boundary condition. But here, the normal component of the magnetic field component, the normal component of the magnetic field vector is 0, but whereas there is no boundary condition for the tangential component in case of magnetic field. I think you have derived the boundary conditions for conductor dielectric medium. There you got normal component is continuous for magnetic field, but whereas tangential component of magnetic field is discontinued. So what we have to do, we have to take, there is a tangential component is there, but there is no boundary condition for that. What we have to do, we have to take the tangential component of electric field and we should change accordingly the tangential component of the magnetic field accordingly. That is the reason what we are taking is, we are taking the EX, EY expressions because it's a rectangular waveguide. Rectangular waveguide. See, this is X direction. This is X direction. This is Y dimension. This is our Y. Actually, it starts with what? 0. The broader dimension is A. And the narrow dimension is B. And this is 0, 0, 0, 0, 0 position. Okay. So now for this rectangular waveguide, I need to apply the boundary conditions. The tangential component, there is no boundary condition for magnetic field. Here only the difference comes. What you have to take is, you have to take the EX, EY expressions straight away. What are the EX, EY expressions? We have got the EX expression, we have got the EY expression. So from this, you should apply. What you should apply? Uh, because they are doing the analysis of transverse electric field. So Ez becomes 0. Only this term we are going to get j omega mu by h square dou hz by dou y. So if you do dou hz by dou y, this differentiation with respect to y, what you are going to get? So sine cos differentiation ఏంటమ్మా? What is the cos differentiation?
Minus sign, ma'am.
Minus sign. So that's why minus a into c3 sine ay. For sign differentiation, cos. So a c4 cos a. So what is the condition we should take? Ex is equal to 0. At y is equal to 0, x is varying from 0 to a. That means this boundary we are considering. This boundary we are considering. So now if you substitute ex is equal to 0, so what you need to substitute? Y is equal to 0. Y 0 means sine 0, 0. So cos 0 becomes 1. So the what is the term left over? Minus j omega mu by h square c1 cos bx plus c2 sin bx a c4 you are going to get. So from this, what is the term becomes 0? C4 becomes 0. So when C4 is equal to 0, if you substitute, so now what we have to do? We have to substitute that C4 in this expression. Your HZ expression doesn't change. What is C4 expression? C4 is equal to 0. According to the first boundary condition, C4 is equal to 0. If you substitute C4 is equal to 0, this term get cancelled. What is the term get cancelled means? I'll show you. I'll erase the things. So this term gets cancelled. So what is the leftover thing? Hz is equal to c1 cos bx plus c2 sin bx into c3 cos ay. So these are the terms we are going to get. That's what we have. This is the 1.54 is the expression after applying the first boundary condition you are going to get. Now, second boundary condition, EY. EY means this boundary I am taking. What is the boundary I am taking? What is the boundary I am taking? This boundary. Y is equal to 0. So, sorry. X is equal to 0. Y is varying from 0 to B. This boundary I am taking. For that EY expression is there. In that HZ is EZ is equal to 0. So Ez is equal to 0. If you substitute, this becomes 0. So in this expression, dou hz by dou x, this one differentiation with respect to x we have to do. So what is the thing you are going to get? See the differentiation. When you do the differentiation, this is the expression you are going to get. So see the differentiation. This is the thing you are going to get. Do the differentiation. So after applying the boundary conditions, what you have to apply? X is equal to 0. X0, what you the thing you are going to get? This B C1 get cancelled. You are going to get B C2. C3 cos AY. Instead of cos AY, we are substituting. Instead of here we have actually C3 cos is present. Cos A by. What is Y? Y is varying from 0 to B. So what is the term becomes 0 here? C2 becomes 0. So substitute C2 also 0. HZ is equal to, this is the expression we are going to get. HZ is equal to, this is the expression. Up to this, is it clear? HZ expression. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
HZ 1 and 2 boundary conditions are clear to you?
Yes, ma'am. Clear, ma'am.
Clear. So now, Only one voice. Remaining students, is it clear to you?
Yes, ma'am. Clear, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Next, third boundary condition. What might be the third boundary condition? Y is equal to B. X is varying from 0 to A. That means which phase I am taking? This phase I am taking. This phase. Okay. So what is this one? Ex is equal to 0. This phase I am taking. Thirdly, we are taking that phase. So if I am taking that one, again take Ex because Ez becomes 0, we have only Ex this one. So differentiate with respect to Y, you are going to get a Y. And instead of Y, you substitute B. This is the thing you are going to get. So sin AB is equal to 0 because all the C1, C3 doesn't become 0. Sin AB becomes 0. So when sin AB becomes 0, sin n pi. For sin n pi value, sin AB becomes 0. AB is equal to n pi, capital A is equal to n pi by. So substitute that one. Next, fourth boundary condition. What is the fourth boundary condition? The leftover phase is what? This is the phase. What is this condition? Tell me. X is equal to A, Y is varying from 0 to B. So you take EY expression and do the differentiation. So after doing the differentiation and substituting, again sin BA becomes 0, B is equal to M pi by A. So whatever the steps we followed for TM, that's why I told TM is the most important one. So if you understand TM, TE is nothing is there. But only thing you have to remember is instead of taking straight away EZ or HZ, what we are taking EX, EY. From EX, EY, we are doing the differentiations. From EX, EY, we are deriving everything. So finally, we got the expression of HZ. This is the expression of HZ. Once we got HZ, there also, once we got EZ, what we did? We have calculated what is EX expression. We have calculated what is EY expression. We have calculated what is HX expression. What is HY expression. Simply substitution, differentiation. Sin is equal to cos, sin differentiation minus cos. Sin is equal to cos is equal to what? Differentiation, you have to do it. And extra terms are added. What is these extra terms? E power of minus gamma z is, the wave is propagating in the positive z direction to represent that one, gamma z. And e power of j omega t to represent it is a sine wave. So whatever the steps we followed for TM, same steps we followed, everything is same. Finally, after getting the expression, so see, TE 0 mode doesn't exist. Why doesn't exist? HX becomes 0, EX becomes 0, EY becomes 0, H